Well, it's highly likely that you know who this is if you've been watching Mobile Europe videos over the last year or so. This is Steve Mallinson, CEO of ip.access. Steve, good to speak to you again.
Thanks. Nice to see you again.
Clearly, a lot of what our discussions in the past have been around femtocells. So now we're here at Mobile World Congress 2009. Some of the other vendors are now talking about femtocells. It's cropping up in discussions around LTE, for instance. What are you seeing from the operators and the interest there?
Well, clearly interest is going up. Femtocells are turning into mainstream technology. We're going to see femtocells rolling out into networks. People are going to be buying femtocells this year and using them and enjoying the benefits of them. So it's turned mainstream. The thing we're looking at right now is how to expand the functionality of a femtocell to provide new services, new value for consumers. So the thing we're going to be showing here, is how you can use femtocells to combine presence detection with services and familiar interfaces like Facebook. So we're showing a Facebook application. It's something that's quite simple to illustrate and allows a user to get new information and new services when they're at home and when they're in the office. And we're quite excited about that. It's just an illustration of the many things you can do once you've got femtocells deployed.
Because the femtocell knows when you're, on network, as it were, at home.
It knows when you're at home. It knows when you're not at home, and it's up to you whether you enable this, of course. But it means that your friends can then send you messages, and you can receive them as you arrive home or as you leave home. And there's something, quite useful about that. So, for example, the thing we're showing here is that you can send a message to someone via Facebook. They receive it on their handset as a text as they walk through their front door. And that's a kind of a reminder to do things which otherwise it can easily be forgotten. So we're quite excited about things like that, and we think carriers are going to pick these things up and run with them.
Well, I was wondering, sort of making the case for the way that you could use the services. So you're still sort of having to sort of open minds a little bit as to what the capability of the femtocells are? Or?
Well, I think the argument about femtocells providing coverage at home, offloading the macro network and providing high-speed data in a residential environment, that argument's kind of won. What carriers are looking for is, well, once you've done that, is there anything else we can do with this technology? Answer, yes, there is. There's a lot more you can do, and that's what we're trying to illustrate with femtozone services.
What did you make of Vodafone signing up for the repeater technology? They did an announcement yesterday saying that they use a repeater technology off the macro site. Is that a specific solution, do you think, or is it competitive to femtocells?
I think repeaters, femtocells, they're all part of solutions and toolboxes that carriers can deploy. I mean, clearly, as a femtocell vendor, we see the shortcomings of repeaters. And in a sense, what they're really doing is distributing existing capacity in a different way. With femtocells, you're adding capacity, and with the increase in data usage by customers, we think that's going to become very important as time goes by. But yeah, sure, I'm sure repeaters have a role in all this, and carriers will use whatever is in the toolbox. Having said that, Vodafone's also very interested in femtocells, and they've also been talking about how they're going to be rolling those out very soon. So it's all part of the mix.
And some of the functionality and the manageability of femtocells, you've managed to sort of take some of that technology and put it back into your picocell product offering. Is that correct?
That's right. So what we're doing at the show this year is we're launching our Nano 3G product, which is essentially a picocell for enterprise applications. You put a picocell in an office building to provide 3G service. It shares a lot of the architecture with femtocells. So if you're a carrier that's already deployed femtocells, then it's easy to add on these picocell solutions. Equally, if you're going to choose our solution to deploy picocells, then it becomes a lot easier to go and deploy femtocells later.
Good, thank you.